Hello, my name is Milton Ward. I'm a 50-year-old American who currently resides in Raleigh, North Carolina. This video is my application to the 2016 Liberty and Entrepreneurship Camp. A little bit about my background. I'm an accountant. I've been in the profession for about 20 years. I have experience in both the public and the private sector. I currently work for the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. I started my current position in February of 2016 after working as a temp for the organization for about 13 months. Um, Prior to that, I had actually been out of the accounting profession since losing my job as a contractor at the Office of the Director of National Intelligence back in 2011. Um, I received my undergraduate degree and my graduate degree, master's in accounting, but from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. I got my undergraduate degree in 1993 after leaving the Army as a member of the 82nd Airborne Division stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Um, I have um, before, during, and after my military, collegiate, and professional careers. I have an extensive amount of experience as a blue collar worker, ranging from doing everything from restaurant work to construction. Um, my family background was strongly influenced or mostly influenced coming up by my mother's side of the family, which was full of, although both my parents are college graduates, they come from, at least my mother, comes from a blue collar background. And with the strongest influence out of that would be on my life would be my grandfather, who, although he only had a sixth grade education, was able to build with his own hands the house that my mother grew up in, and also, raise his family. And he retired from a foundry after 30 years. And I actually saw a picture, newspaper clipping of him actually, receiving the gold watch, the proverbial gold watch. And I think he got a pension of like $105 a month or something like that. Um, but as far as I'm concerned, other than the position that I currently have, which I'm grateful to have, after being out of the field for such a long period of time, the only tangible result that I have from any standpoint you want to look at from my accounting career is a large amount of student loan debt, which is unfortunate. But there are even more unfortunate is there are a lot of people who find themselves similarly situated. Um, but what I do have, I do think that I have is what I have gained over the course of my career and my life is an insight into how the world and the people in it work, and also I have gained a desire to use that insight to improve not only my life but the lives of other people. One of the insights that I've gained is that an understanding of the importance of mentorship, menteeship. Um, uh, Unfortunately, that's not something that I personally have had, or I haven't had the type of mentorship that I feel like I've needed to be successful. That's how important I think it is, either in my professional life or my personal life. It's not something they teach you about necessarily in school. They do talk about, networking, or they did talk about networking when I was in school, but they didn't specifically emphasize, or if they did emphasize, it's been a while, they didn't emphasize enough to me the importance of mentorship. Um, and so one of the problems is, my experience is that mentors don't find you. You normally have to find them, and it's hard to find something that you don't even know, you're not even aware that you're supposed to be looking for. Um, but having said that, I am optimistic. I do believe, as I look out into the world, I think that there is a wealth of opportunity out there, of all types of natures, socially, economically, even politically. Speaking of that, as it relates to, America, the United States of America in general, and the state thereof. I'm dismayed by a lot of things that I see going on currently, specifically looking at the political environment. I hear a lot of people talking about or getting excited about making America great again. And when I hear that, I can't help but wonder or ask myself, what exactly does that mean? In my opinion, America, like any other country, is an organization of people. And just like any other organization, such as an army or a business or a family or a church or a community, for example, is made of people, and that organization can only be as great as the people that are in it. I think a lot of times when I hear people use that term, making America great, they are looking for politicians or government or their employer or their church or whatever, to bestow greatness upon them, as opposed to striving for greatness themselves as individuals or even as a member of a group. So I think that they have a sense of entitlement, that they believe that greatness is something that should be, bestowed upon them, and that it is a birthright. And if they don't have it, then obviously someone has taken it from them, which is an unfortunate viewpoint, in my opinion. You know, so having said that, as I'd like to talk about, where I'm at and where I'm going, and a little bit about where I've been. In my opinion, I've always been fascinated with automobiles. To me, they are the epitome of the impact that industrialization has had on America and the world in terms not only economically but socially. They've given people freedom and independence that they didn't have before. And I also, look at them personally as, vehicles, and no pun intended, of self-expression. Even in the artistic sense, they can be beautiful and as well as functional, and that aspect of it has always intrigued me as well. One of my heroes has always been Henry Ford. one of the things that I like about Henry Ford is that he came from a blue collar background. You know, he grew up on a farm, and because of his experiences, you know, working on the farm coming up, he always wanted to improve the lives in terms of easing the physical burden and increasing the productivity of other people, you know, in his situation, you know, other working class people. And you know, he was able to achieve that in a big way by producing affordable transportation to the average guy and girl, and you know, making strides with the farm equipment, specifically the tractor, changing the way farm work was done, and also by, you know, providing a high wage and a high standard of living for, you know, his employees. You know, having said that, you know, I've always aspired to be, you know, the Henry Ford of my generation. You know, although I'm an accountant and growing up, I had aspired to be an engineer, also an astronaut, and you know, a fighter pilot. Don't ask me what happened. I think a lot of young men, well, and not so young men at this point, you know, can look back and say they share that common dream, but not many of us were able to achieve it. You know, but I continue to believe that the automobile will play an important role, you know, in a global future, not only economically but socially. And I think the challenge is going to be to provide affordable, environmentally friendly personal transportation to, you know, the global masses. In January of 2008, I wrote a letter to the then incoming President Obama, and in the letter, I stressed to him my belief in the importance and the key to the American economy was to get money in the hands, you know, of innovators and creators, you know, regular people with, you know, vision and dreams like Henry Ford, and not so much, you know, propping up the banks and Wall Street, and not so much, you know, spending money on government social programs. I do believe in a safety net. I don't believe that is the way to make the type of American economy that you know, people so desperately want. And I also talked about in the letter my ideas, my own personal ideas about the production of compressed natural gas cars, which is something that at the time and even presently I think has some potential. You know, gas prices were a lot higher then, but they're depressed now, but you know, that could always change. Unfortunately, the president did not respond to my letter. And again, and I would like to, at this point, take the opportunity to say that I may or may not be a successful candidate for the entrepreneurship camp in 2016, but either way, I would definitely appreciate and welcome any feedback from the decision makers viewing this video, and you know, I also welcome constructive criticism. That is something that you know, I would invite. You know, so as an FYI. And also, I'd like to say that, you know, I'm not wedded to the auto industry. You know, I have, my main desire is to be creative and innovative, and to have a positive impact and a transformative impact on my own life, but as well those of others. And, any opportunity or venue that would allow me to accomplish those goals, I would embrace. And, I'm open, my mind and my eyes are open to, various opportunities. Um, you know, last year, last October, I celebrated my 50th birthday, and when I blew out the candles, I made one wish, and that wish was for another 50 years. You know, another productive 50 years, at least. And so, having said that, I kind of, different people have different life stories, but I'm a believer that for me, for whatever reasons, some of it due to my own choices and some of it due to circumstances beyond my control, the first 50 years of my life I'm kind of looking at it as a warm up, a preparation for greater things to come. And, I'm excited, really, about the possibilities going forward. And I may or may not be the successful candidate for the camp this year, but if not, I would, plan to apply next year or the year after, because the way I'm looking at it, I have 49 years and some months, and so I have some time. Although, the sooner the better. That's my perspective. So at this time, I would like to take the opportunity to say thank you for viewing my video and allowing me the opportunity to share with like-minded people. That is not something I feel like I get to do often. It's a rare thing. So I thank you just for that. And in parting, I would like to say, I look forward to hearing from you in the near future. Thank you.